Hello, everyone. Welcome to One by One, a podcast where we uncover the stories, strategies, and secrets behind extraordinary success. I'm your podcast host, Robert Murigi, and we'll be building each other from the ground up. Join us as we uncover the blueprints of building a life, career, or a business from the ground up. Subscribe now and never miss an episode from us. And on our podcast today, we are going to be looking into yet another mechanic proverb, and it says, an engine is only as good as its weakest part. What does this mean? Let us check and have a look at what all this means today. And when we think about this today, we are going to find out that all this information has a lot of impact in our lives, the life we live every day, and even for the vehicles which just relies on you for their survival. And most of us are just wondering right now that how does this proverb or how does this all means to our business or even in our lives? When we look at the engine being the powerhouse of the whole vehicle and the thing that the vehicle relies on for its movement from one part to another. But what do we find? That if any of the parts or even the parts which are crucial, if it happens to fail, the whole system will fail. But how can we prevent all this from happening? And therefore, when we start or when we segment the whole thing, let us see how the engine is constructed or the anatomy of an engine. First, let's understand how the engine is constructed. Imagine it is a team and each component of the fuel injectors or the pistons have its own specific task. An engine might be robust and powerful, but if a small component like gasket or sensor is faulty, that engine cannot perform or it cannot do what is expected to do. When we listen to that noise on the road, or even when you go into a small corrugation and you feel that you can hear that there is some noise coming from the engine or even from your own suspension, this is a telltale that the weakest part is already on its way. And when we think about our lives, we find that we also have engines, and if any of the components, whether it is your relationship or your career or even your personal endeavors, if one of the parts fails, you might find that all the other things will fail. And when you understand the anatomy of the engine or how it is constructed, it is time for us now to identify the weaknesses. Where is our engine weak? What is that thing that needs to be checked all the time? But we have few tricks on how we can do this so that we can make sure that we live the dream that we always aspired. And how can we do this so well? By regular maintenance. Just as you wouldn't skip regular oil change for your car, you shouldn't let issues go unchecked in your life. Schedule time for self-reflection, journals, meditate, or even seek feedback from others. The other thing that we can do so well so that we can make sure that we are going the right way on this is by doing assessment. You assess the team. Are there components in your life that aren't working properly or positively? These things, if they are not addressed properly, and these are simple things like communication. How do you communicate to your people? These can lead to measuring, or this can help you to sort out all those small issues that can lead to major improvement in your life. And the other good thing that you could do so well is by doing or by working together or collaborating. There is no way that you can carry the road all by yourself, but this has to be worked together, and people need to cooperate and work together as teams so that they can become what they want in their life. But how do we overcome these weaknesses in our lives? Let us talk solutions now. Now that you have already identified the weakest parts in your vehicle or in your life. How do we strengthen this so that we can move forward in certainty? The first thing that we could do so well is invest in training. Just like a mechanic would invest in high quality tools, don't shy away from investing in yourself or getting that course. Learn about a new vehicle which is in the market and make sure that you get all the details and integrities in this thing. Training sessions, workshops, or even online courses can equip you for the challenges ahead of your life. Another good thing that you could do is to have open communication. If it is your spouse or your friend or even your workmate that you're having issues in breakdown in communication, it's always good to discuss those issues, and this can lead to collaborative solutions in the future. The other one good thing that we could do is to replace or proactive replacement. Sometimes a part is too worn out and need replacing. If something isn't working despite of the efforts that you're making to fix it, just let it go. Be it bad habit or even non-contributing projects in your life. Remember that we are all trying to make that engine to run clearly and in a nice way so that it can be oiled in all the ways and one where all the parts are functioning at its best. Therefore, as we conclude today and as we have learned from this proverb today, we are all going to do one thing, and to remember that from your own personal goals to your career aspiration, every component performance matters. Reflect on where your weaknesses lies, take the necessary steps to strengthen them, and you'll find that you not only become more resilient, but you'll also boost your overall performance in your life. We had a visiting client today, and we had this vehicle which the oil filter was not done properly from the last service, and the whole time this customer has been adding and topping oil on his vehicle. But how does this happen? Is this poor workmanship, or is it just ignorance that could cost you an engine of your vehicle? But when we come to this and we pay attention to all the things that we are doing each and every day, we are going to find that we are going to do it well and we are going to do it right. We are going to do it once and every day. But how can we possibly do this so that we avoid the problems that we have seen today from this customer? This can be avoided by cross-checking your work and making sure that each and everything that you do, each and everything you do in the workshop, it makes sense to you and also to the customer. This was rectified, and the shop rectified this properly, and we saw that all the oil rings, they were still intact. None of them has been chamfered. But how can we avoid these problems in the future? By doing the things that we have already talked on this episode, by getting that training and embracing the challenges as they come in your life. And how can we avoid this in the future? When you have a vehicle and you own one of the vehicles, please always go around the vehicle each and every morning, see that the air is still up and no fluid is under the vehicle. This was noted by this particular client, and he went back to where the vehicle was fixed, but they told him the vehicle was all right. But how can we keep repeating the same problems? We can always avoid this by cross-checking from the internet or even looking for another mechanic who is willing to do it right. And whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur, seasoned professional, or simply someone looking for inspiration, one by one we will equip you with the tools and insights you need to lay the foundation of your own success stories. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us to grow and bring you even more inspiring stories. Thank you for listening to Building from the Ground Up. Remember, every great accomplishment starts with one single step. What will you build today? Until next time, keep building, keep striving, and keep reaching for your dreams.